everybody. I am Stephen 3, Stephen Colville. Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Shout, the discussion debate show where we take 3 guests, 4 random topics, 20 minutes each, and a whole lot of fuckery in between. Now, today's show, I've got some fantastic guests for you, and obviously last week we had Adam along with his 3 fantastic guests, Gary, Callum, and Jack. Great discussions there, fun, you must listen to it. Absolute laugh. Now, this week, we've got a returning guest. To my right here, he is the co-host of Total Markout. He is Dan, the Geek King Adamson. Geek, good to have you on the show again.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes, thank you. And also with us, we've got first time on the show, old friend of mine, big enthusiast on, creative genius, really. You know, this guy's got a lot of... He is! He's got a creative genius. He is none other than Kael. Kael, thank you for joining us on the show.
Glad to be here, and don't make my head any bigger.
I'll try not to. And then we've got, you know, quite frankly, what I think is the most awesome person in the world. Why? That's because she is none other than my fiancée. Oh yeah, bitches. The one and only Lorne. Thanks for joining us on the show.
Thank you.
I thought you were introducing me again.
No, Dan, I can't do polygamy.
Oh.
No, I meant the most awesome person you know.
Not yet. But anyway, yeah. So
wrong with polygamy?
Nothing. But that's a subject for a different show. We'll talk about that some other time. But we've got 3 guests, 4 people ready to rant, and 4 topics to talk about. Now, it's been decided by unanimous vote that I'm going first. So, my first topic, the topic for the day, my topic is going to be all about doctors. And oh boy, am I ready to go on this one. So if we start the timer in 3, 2, 1, timer start. So the doctors. Now, you know what it's like. You're feeling ill, you can't quite work out what it is. It may be cold, may not be cold. You do the natural thing. You book an appointment. Not a problem. So you go to the doctors. Now, here's my question. At what point in medical school, when you're training to be a doctor, did they teach you how to be a complete and total fucktard? For example, today, I had to take my little brother to the doctors for, ill personal reasons, and we walked in. But before we walked in, we know this doctor very well. Now, for legal reasons, I won't name the doctor, but we'll call them Dr. M, okay? We know Dr. M very well, because every time we go to see Dr. M, it's always time off, painkillers, that's all they give you. Just as much painkillers and time off as they can. So me and Adam made a little bet. He said, I bet we'll get 1 minute before she starts talking about giving us painkillers. I said, we'll get 3 minutes. I was trying to give Dr. M a bit of, credit. 1 minute, 21 seconds, she said, and I quote, "You want pills? You want pills? You're a doctor, not a druggie, you fucking moron! At what point in medical school do they go, now, when the people come in, they're looking for a fix, man, looking for a fix. So you just want to write those painkillers, so just give them cold Cortimol, get cold Cortimol, won't do them too bad, what the fuck? And now, you may think, well, Stephen, that's just one doctor, that can't all be bad. Oh, really? Let's talk about Dr. PR. Why do I call Dr. PR? Because if I spent the entire time calling Dr. P, we'll just have an immature snicker. See, Dad's already going. It's already going. And Lord's going. Keel's like going, what, no, we're choosing that.
No, we're not.
There's a doctor called Adam. Our timekeeper's laughing at that. Great. Well, Dr.
Clearly,
PR,
they need to understand that laughter has a time and a place.
Shut up.
Well, Dr. PR...
Dr. P and Dr. Pooh.
Shut up!
You need to learn to control the podcast, my friend.
Yeah.
It's already degenerated into simple, silly jokes.
Dr. Q has a terrible habit. I used to work at Inland Revenue, and I suffered from so many things. But the biggest thing was my back, because I got attacked when I was 12, and I had back injuries. So one day my back is incredibly agonizing. It's like, oh geez, it's never been this bad since my last physiotherapy appointment. So I decided I want to go see a physiotherapist. Great. I go, and there's Dr. Q. Basically, she changed her name because apparently her last name was so hilarious. And she said that the source of all my problems was because I wasn't breathing correctly. And she said, I'm going to teach you how to breathe properly. look, I don't know if you know this, but at the time, I was 23. I was like, look, I'm 23. I think I've worked out breathing by now.
Did she tell you it's in and out?
Oh, yes, she did. Stop it. Now, here's the thing, right? She said, sit up with your back straight and breathe in and breathe out. It's like, I know how to fucking breathe. Do you want the proof? I'm alive. You know, unless I'm a vampire, somehow I doubt that I'd be alive if I hadn't mastered the art of fucking breathing.
You don't sparkle, so you can't be a vampire.
Exactly.
Hey, this is Twilight. So this is a Twilight episode, alright? Twilight was done last week, which you can check out at, the Wandering Angel YouTube page, or at the new official Shout the Show YouTube page. But we'll plug that later. I'm a plug machine. But anyway, moving on. Anyway, the point is, right? She would suggest things like she was very much a new age doctor, but in an NHS health clinic. She was like saying, all your problems are stress. My back is not fucking hurting because of stress. My back is hurting because some people decide to use it as a trampoline. And some other classic examples of doctors I've seen. I once went to see a doctor because I was throwing up and there was blood in my vomit. You know what they suggested the problem was? Well, maybe it's something to do with the muscles in your back. What do you mean? Well, they're causing pressure. And I thought, okay, this is starting to sound intelligent. And then eventually they went, on the other hand, you could just have a headache or a migraine. Oh, for fuck.
I'm not trying to be mean, but your back wouldn't cause you to vomit blood. It's more like a tear in your esophagus or your stomach.
Yes. Okay, I know. But the point is, other doctors have said, oh, I'll give you the best one. This isn't a doctor. This is on the NHS helpline, right?
The NHS helpline are useless and pointless.
Yeah.
You guys have a helpline?
Yeah, it's kind of a free service where you can call 24/7, and 9 times out of 10, they'll either say, go away and sleep it off, or get to the hospital now!
Yeah,
I want a helpline.
You want a health service?
The funny thing was, this wasn't even really NHS. It was basically, I didn't call 999. I don't think it was NHS. It was like something in between, like not so serious, right? Basically what happened was, I was tied in my room, I fell over and I cracked my head into a giant metal tin and it split my head open and I was bleeding quite a lot. So I called the number and I told the lass what was happening and I was obviously going into shock because I was shaking and all the jazz. And I've busted myself open many a times. I used to do backyard wrestling, but this was like, okay, this is quite deep. You know what the woman told me to do?
Sleep it off?
Take some ibuprofen and go and have a nap. I'm not fucking kidding! She didn't even say put pressure on your wound or anything. She said, take two I've split me head open, love. I haven't read Twilight. Bit of a difference! Granted, one of them can lead to death and the other one's busting your head open. But still, I could not believe it. Take two IV. I called me mum up later on and said, Mum, I've just called, my head's bleeding. I've lost a lot of blood. But she told me to take ibuprofen. In 5 minutes, my Uncle Lawrence is outside my door to take me to a hospital. Fuck nuts.
Mommy had it myself.
So I'm just wondering. Fuck you. I hope you read Twilight. Anyway, so I'm just wondering, what stories have you got about? Have you guys got any really like bad doctor stories or any stupid doctor stories or anything like that?
All right.
Or bad experiences with the health service in general?
Let's see. Oh yeah. Okay. So I was like 10 years old, right? And I had gone down a hill and ended up having an accident that caused my finger to swell up and turn black and blue, right?
Right.
So my neighbor was a doctor, and he's all like, oh, it'll be fine. 5 days later, when my parents took me to the hospital, it was broken. It gets even better.
Alright.
The American military, alright? I had injured my leg and ankle, as you guys know, like the second week of basic training during an exercise.
Yeah.
I went to the CTMC, they did an x-ray, and they're like, oh, well, it's just sprained. Well, I went back, I think like 6 or 7 weeks later, and they stuck me with some nuclear crap that caused me to have to carry a note around because of the fact of different devices would, go off and stuff like that. And they found out that it had been broken in a spiral fracture. Why couldn't they find this on week 2? I don't know.
Because in America, nothing's broken.
Yeah, that is quite bad.
In America, nothing's broken.
I know.
The economy isn't broken, it's sprained.
I know, but I ended up breaking it, and, yeah.
See, that's what I mean. It's like, you would think, right? I mean, obviously, when you talk about, like, mental health, it's a bit of a different issue, because but when you talk about physical stuff, like, how come you get so many different doctors? You go, I said, look, my back is fucking killing. I've had this injury. This is how I got it. How come one doctor say, shove painkillers down your throat, but don't do anything? Another one will say, go and see a physiotherapist. Another one will say, learn to breathe properly.
To be honest, I had a brilliant encounter with them.
Oh yeah, go on.
Because I lost complete motor control down my left-hand side and fell over.
Mm-hmm.
This was a bit concerning.
As it would be.
Yes.
On top of the chronic headaches every day, constantly for 2-3 years.
Yes.
But I went to the doctors. They gave me some medication. Did nothing.
Yeah.
Went to a different doctor. He gave me some medication, which did something. Then I went to the hospital to get results from a CAT scan that I'd had. The doctor who I went to see there didn't know why I was there. Didn't even know I'd had a CAT scan. I had the CAT scan in this hospital with this doctor, I might add.
Damn.
Did it occur to you that they just didn't like you?
Maybe. It gets worse, though. It gets worse.
Well, how does it get worse?
He took me off the medication that was helping the headaches, put me on a lower dose of the first medication, which did nothing, and then I think I got booted off the register because they managed to move sites to a different hospital but didn't tell their computer system this. So their computer system sent out letters, but due to the fact that it wasn't hooked up to a printer and had no people to interact with it, no letters were printed nor sent out. But the computer system recorded that they were. So I was kicked off the list for not attending an appointment I didn't know existed. And then when I went to see my GP, he put me back on the medication that was helping again and called the other doctors idiots.
Well, that's what I feel. It's like, we've got 9 minutes and 15 seconds on this topic, but that's my question. Like, the other thing I had was physiotherapy for my back. Eventually, I know I've seen 3 physiotherapists in my lifetime on my back. And every single one of them, obviously bought the first one, right? But I went to see the first one, okay, this is what's wrong with your back, this is what we're going to do about it. Okay. Go to see the second one, months later, say, my back's in agony. And I say, okay, what's your physiotherapy appointment? The first thing she said after seeing it, oh, right, that was wrong. She was wrong about everything, don't know why she said that. Anyone want to guess what the third one said?
That she was right?
No, the third one said, no, the last one you saw was wrong. I went, what about the first one? No, she's wrong.
All you had to do is learn to breathe.
No, it wasn't Dr. Q. Or do you really want me to call her Dr. P? See?
The audience want it.
Yes. But, you know, it's like, again, it's like, the first one says, oh, the problem with your back is that your back is, it's the indent. You've got an indent that's going inward into your back, and it should be coming outward. Like, you should be able to feel the muscle, but yours is dented. So we need to reshape it. I went, right, okay, so we did some exercise, and obviously that was causing me agony, because I'm trying to reshape a fucking muscle that's apparently been indented. The second physio I went to said, what kind of nonsense is that? That's not how the back works. No, the problem is that these muscles are still feeling pain, they're still spraying, and they're still, whatever terminology they use. They basically said that they're still feeling the pain, and it's something that you can get over time, you just got to strengthen the muscle to be able to cope with it. And I went, right, okay, that makes a bit more sense.
Sounds about right.
So I went to see the third one. The third one turned around and said, no, that's not true. Basically, because your muscles would eventually get over it. The problem is your muscles, because they're initially damaged, that part's true, but they would have been fixed over time with just a natural physio that you were doing. The the recovery and all that. But the way that the muscles are developed, they're all pressing down on certain nerves in the spinal column. And every now and then you've got a muscle which contracts. When it contracts, it's pressing on the nerve, which is causing pain. That's why you're not in pain all the time.
Yeah.
And all that. So I went, okay, that makes more sense. She gave me exercises to do, which are annoying. Especially, like, the first exercise I've got to do makes it look like I'm shagging a fucking ghost. You're supposed to lie in the bed as kind of a push-up position, but then you got to, like, push... And seriously, if you've ever seen Buffy the Vampire Slayer...
It's a dolphin press-up.
Yes.
All I'm going to say, Steve, is don't do it near the basement.
Well, I'm sorry, no, a better advice would be not do it near my fucking bedroom window.
Yeah, I can see that ending badly.
So if anyone's ever seen the Buffy the Vampire Slayer episode when Buffy and Spike were getting it on and she turned invisible, that's kind of what we're talking about here. Especially as I'm supposed to do it first thing in the morning. Well, first
To be
thing in
honest,
the
the thing
morning...
I'm intrigued about that is I'm pretty sure he would have turned invisible.
But here's the thing.
Not her.
Here's the thing. She turned around and said, so that's why you're not in pain all the time. I went, I'm fine. Now I'm in pain all the time. Literally, it's like, sometimes it's like, okay, as I used to explain to AJ and because I've known you guys longer than I've known Dan here. But as I said, it's always been like hearing a humming all day. Then every now and then the humming goes, ah! And it's like, okay, now that hurt. Yeah. That's what the pain's like. But now the pain's more like someone kind of punching me in the face, but pulling the punch a little bit. Then every now and then, cricket bat. So it's like, Geek, you see me trying to move around.
It's funny.
Oh, thanks, you dickhead.
It is. As you get up, and every time you get up, you ah.
To be honest, I'm like that. Though to be honest, I've got 2 knackered limps and a bad back.
Geek, what's wrong with you? I bought you an Easter egg.
A lot's wrong with me.
That's a good point.
I don't get Easter eggs. I just get deer skulls.
We're on 5 minutes on the subject. I'm not going to turn it into a conversation about Easter eggs.
I once got told I have surgery the way they
don't forget the deer skulls.
Put me up and said, "Oh, there's nothing wrong with you."
No, great. Exploratory surgery. Actually, you're looking pretty decent in there.
It was on my knee, so they did keyhole surgery. And when they got in there, they found out that it actually, because they waited a year before I had surgery, and decided, it's actually fixed itself.
It's like, geez, thanks.
And then I had to go through 6 months of rehab for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
And that was not fun.
Well, do you say a 1 minute one? Yeah. Basically, just we've also got Adam Caulfield, Low Walker 1, with us in the studio. Yes, that's what we call it.
Yeah. You were professional.
But yes, I don't. My gripe is, why is it that you've got all these people that all go to medical school, right? They're all taught pretty much from relatively the same source material. Why is it that you get so? Is it just a case of people who come once they get the certificates, they're like, right, now I've got my own ideas. Fuck everything I learned.
Everyone's idea is better than someone else's, isn't it?
Yeah, it's this idea of I know. I mean, because what does almost every single person do when they see the doctors? They're full of shit. They don't know what to talk about. Yeah, what's the other thing they tend to do? Lie.
It's like, don't have a registered GP.
It's like, do you drink? No. Do you smoke? No. It's like, do you eat a lot? It's like, do you eat a lot? No. Come on, you're the size of Jupiter. Fuck no.
Do you drink? Just a little.
Oh, no, it gets even better. Here, they're like, do you smoke? Yes. How much do you smoke a day? A pack. Is it menthol, light, regular, etc., etc., etc.? And it's like, why do you want to know? Do you want to know the brand that I smoke? I got it in my pocket. Is this going to help you out?
If they were going to ask that, why not just say, what kind of cigarettes do you smoke, than spending half an hour listing them?
Well, my favourite one was I had, they go for a checkup, and they goes, do you drink? I goes, well, yeah. They goes, well, how many units do you drink? I said, well, on a weekend I can get through 40 units. Yeah. Which is about 20 cans.
Yeah.
And they'll turn around, and the next question she asked me was, right, so when you get up in the morning, do you go looking for alcohol? 40 units means I'm an alcoholic.
Oh, shit.
Thing is, I never drank 40 units, and I'm an alcoholic. I don't understand how that's fair.
That was me shutting it down as well. That was me lying to the...
No.
About 20 cans.
The reason they were asking all those questions to me about my cigarettes is because whenever people get laryngitis, if they're a smoker, it's from the menthol. It's like, but I don't smoke, man. menthol.
Yeah.
Yeah, now I just tell
And
them I don't.
this lady didn't believe me.
Yeah.
She thought I was smoking menthol. So I had to, like, go into my purse and into my many pockets of my pants and pull out my cigarette. And I was like,
Yeah.
is that menthol? No. Hold up the side. No.
But there's not just that, I've got some brief time here, so I'm going to talk about the other side of mental health, which the other side of health drives me nuts, counsellors. Because on the NHS you can see a counsellor, right? I've seen 3 counsellors in my lifetime, so I've been to counsellors a few times in my lifetime. I've only ever had 3 different ones, but one of them I had for a large space of time. She accused me of fucking lying to her because
I could point you to a really good counsellor.
I've just given up on counsellors.
Steve, you can't win against this counsellor.
Why?
It's my mother.
Ooh.
Oh, no. I'm not going near that. No way. No, I'm not. Well, look, we're at 1 minute. I'll just quickly describe this. Basically, I worked out by the end of this, depression of mine, that my biggest problem in life is that I was a whingy bastard.
I could put that through.
Yeah, nobody bothered. But we were talking about how,
many times.
we were talking about the time that I decided, when I was young, that I didn't want to be bullied anymore, and I was going to start fighting back. And I said to him, basically, I just decided, you know what, I don't deserve this treatment. I should be respected a bit more. I'm a human being, so I'm not going to take this anymore. And this was like from when I was quite young, but we're talking about junior, primary school,
Excuse me.
So was that first school then?
First school, yes.
Right.
But it wasn't like the first few years. It was like near the end of the process. We're heading towards
Middle school.
Middle school. That's useless. That did nothing. So basically, yeah, she said I was lying because apparently I couldn't think like that at that young an age. But anyway, summing it all up, I don't understand why there's so many arguments and so many differences of opinion in the medical field. Why did they become retards? Whatever. But now we're going to move on to our second topic because the time is done. So now moving over to AJ. So AJ, what's your subject on?
Well, technically it's sort of Warhammer 40,000 in sort of general, but mainly the Horus Heresy, apparently.
Yeah. So you're going to be talking about the Horus Heresy of the Warhammer. So we're going to start your timer for you. Timekeeper, will you give us 20 minutes in 3, in 2, in 1? Go, AJ.
Hello. Well, the Warhammer 40,000 universe is essentially the grim, dark future of which our entire race has came to the point of stagnation. Imagine now, but so much worse. We're kind of... It's like now, but we've actually got nobody at the top to blame anymore, because they're kind of dead. Which possibly explains why the universe in 40,000 is in such a complete and utter mess. But it's the 42nd millennium. Thousands upon thousands of worlds ruled by humanity. Every single one of them is nose to the grindstone, working horrible misery. And it's the glorious age of the Imperium. So, yeah, if you say it's not glorious, you get shot. So, a few more years before we reach that in our day and age. But the Horus Heresy is an event which kind of expedited this during the 31st millennium. The Emperor of Mankind unified all the tribes of Earth and formed Terra. And he created, from that, he generated 20 sons from his genetic makeup.
Damn.
These
I got
20 sons, he did them in test tubes. He essentially just grew them from scratch. And the Emperor himself had been sort of brought into existence by somewhere in the region of 2,000, maybe more, shamans and mystics sacrificing themselves and combining their soul into one being. This guy, his psychic ability stretched across the entire galaxy of the Milky Way. That was the sort of level he was at. And he created 20 sons to be the perfect genetic warriors.
Yes. known as
The Emperor
Primarch.
was somewhere in the region of maybe 15, 16 foot high, I'd say.
Yeah.
Which
is surprising how he didn't get fucking noticed.
Well, to be honest, I say he did the similar to what his son did. He could change how big he was at will. And take that as you will, he could probably do that as well. But
see, for me personally, I'm calling that a continuity error or a plot issue. For me
to be
personally,
honest, though, if you're going to say that, 99% of it is thingy errors.
Well, I'm just going by the fact that they never explain it.
The thing is, they're trying to now. They've never actually sat down and looked at the plot, not properly.
Yeah. So basically,
it was written by about 20 different blokes over 20 years ago.
Yeah, but I suppose it still makes more sense than the Bible.
So was Marvel's Secret Wars, but they got it right.
And also they've got the added factor that the Emperor is in fact St. George.
St. George.
There's nothing wrong with St. George. So, don't worry about a geek. Right, so basically the Emperor created 20 sons to be the Perfect Warriors, or Primarchs as they would be called.
Yeah. And what he did was, as he created the 20 of them, he took their genetic makeup, starting at Primarch 1 onwards, and created warriors from that. And he used the genetic makeup of these ones to essentially merge it with normal humans to create his Space Marines.
Yes.
Which, if you've ever seen a Games Workshop shop, is the armoured guys with the guns.
Yes.
They are the most recognisable force in the Games Workshop line.
The ones I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And essentially, he kind of just spread out from Terra with giant fleets of spaceships and kind of just conquered all of the Milky Way. And as he was, sadly, just before he was planning to leave, as he was still creating the Space Marines, the powers of Chaos, which are the only supposed gods in the universe of Warhammer 40,000, ripped into his lab and took his 20 sons away and scattered them to basically the four winds and just scattered them throughout space. And they came to land on various planets throughout the Milky Way. And prior to the Horus Heresy, when they went out to conquer the galaxy in the Great Crusade, as it was called, they found the sons and reunited them one at a time with the Emperor.
Yes.
The first son to be reunited was called Horus.
Yes.
And he was essentially one of the sons called, and the name of the sons is Primarch, is what they're called. The Primarchs of their respective Space Marine legions.
Yes.
And Horus, if I remember correctly, was Primarch of the 16th Legion, called the Lunar Wolves. And
yeah.
this guy was the first son, so he was the closest to the Emperor. He'd been with him maybe 30, 40 years at least, before another son was found.
I mean, but the Primarchs were all made at the same time, weren't they? So they weren't like older or young.
Yeah. I mean, technically, the last one of them to be found was always viewed as being a bit younger than the others.
Aye.
Especially since he was about the same size as a normal Space Marine.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, to be honest, technically that's what happens when one guy becomes two. Twins tend to be a bit smaller.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically, one by one, they were all found again. Yeah. Like the Ithaca, and Horus was the first.
Yeah, they were all reunited with their father, and they basically went back to Terra and met up with each other, had a good laugh, got pissed. You know, usual sibling rivalries.
Yeah.
And obviously, some of the brothers were trying to do like pissing contests and basically just testing their mettle against the other ones.
Yeah.
Some of the
he could win all the time, obviously.
Yeah. And some of them, when the Emperor found them, recognised him for who he was and swore fealty to him. A few were a bit, who the hell's this? This is my planet. Bugger off.
Yeah.
And one or two of them even fought with their father, and only actually joined him once they'd been beaten in combat.
Yeah.
Admittedly, one of the Primarchs can probably explain why, as when he was about, I'd say, 12, he grabbed a dragon, which was something in the region of 3 miles long, and melted it in lava. And by melted it in lava, I mean he grabbed it by the throat and held it in lava. And his arms were up to the shoulders nearly, in this lava. And he just held it there until it stopped fighting back.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
admittedly, when he pulled his arms out, the metal of the creature had kind of melded itself to its bone structure.
They just stole that off Wolverine.
Well, yeah, but technically this guy just had 2 arms of liquid metal.
Okay, they stole it from Colossus.
Stole it from what?
Colossus.
True, yeah, from Talos, yeah. Well, to be honest, the Primarch was called Ferrus Manus. So...
Yes.
Yeah.
Ferrus from Iron.
Yeah, Iron Hands.
Yeah.
Which was also the name of his legion, oddly enough.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Well, I thought it was the Iron Fists.
no, it's the Iron Hands.
Alright.
It's Rogal Dorn who's the Imperial Fists. Yeah.
Okay.
But
So you got I've just had a cramp in my back, funny enough.
but yeah, when they'd all been reunited, the Emperor essentially led them on one last crusade against the largest horde of orcs that they'd found in the Milky Way.
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, about 7 of his sons were with him on this crusade. The others were elsewhere in the Milky Way. And after this victory, he turned to them and said that he was retiring from battle, and he was going to return back to Terra to work on something that was more important, and basically something which would usher in a golden age. And he left his son Horus in charge of everything, and named him War Master.
Yeah.
Some people speculated that his siblings didn't take kindly to this, because obviously some of them thought it should have been them, and so on and so forth, because even though these are superhuman genetic perfections, they are still ruled by the normal human emotions of jealousy and pride.
Yeah. Which is why I don't believe this whole crap about Jesus.
Well, to be honest, I still say with Jesus, he was a regular upstanding bloke, and then the church just saw him and went, "We can write a book about him. Go."
Yeah.
Right.
Same as Warhammer.
Yeah. And he was a good captain, and he sort of did his best. But one of his brothers had essentially worshipped the Emperor as a god. And the Emperor had tried to usher in secularism and sort of purge religion from the entire galaxy. So this brother, every time he colonized the world and brought it into the Imperium, he stayed and made sure they'd elected cathedrals and just worshipped the Emperor in every planet he conquered. Eventually, the Emperor summoned him and his entire legion to a world that they'd conquered previously, and told him that he'd warned him in the past not to do this, and this was the last straw, and he wasn't going to have him worshipping him anymore. So they razed the entire planet. The Emperor had the entire planet burned in front of this Primarch.
Because he was such a nice guy.
Yeah, sacrificing all of the population.
Yeah, because again, we're spreading secularism.
Yeah. Admittedly, he had warned them, and he'd given them 7 days to evacuate.
At least give them a week, you know.
Yeah, he gave them a week to evacuate, and not a single one of them evacuated.
It's not our fault if you don't go and find it. Yeah, it was in the basement. How am I meant to see that notice? Look,
yes, it was locked in a locked filing cabinet in a disused lavatory.
Yes. It's like, as long as you got your towel, you're fine.
Exactly. And because of that, he became a bit bitter.
Well, you would.
Yeah. And he sort of went off in search of gods, of people who were deserving of his worship. And he found the gods of chaos, who the Emperor had pretty much not told them about, but if they ever saw anything that was remotely chaosy, they were to kill it. This Primarch discovered that the Emperor had actually made a deal with them, and that the gods of chaos had helped him make the Primarchs.
Bum, bum, bum.
So not called for.
What? It's a dramatic point.
I know, but it sounds like you're taking the piss.
No. If I wanted to take the piss, I could really take the piss.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, the EastEnders one would have been a good. But no, so basically, he finds out that he signed a deal. I mean, because that was the thing. The forces of chaos were this powerful otherworldly force.
Yeah, the four of them.
Yeah, basically they're the kind of long story short magic kind of.
Yeah. One is essentially a god of pleasure and pain and sadism and masochism and just excess.
I was fine with the first one.
One is basically the blood for the blood god. He sits on a skull of thrones type thing.
Okay, not that one.
There's also one who's essentially pestilence and plagues and just technically though at the same time he's creation and destruction, because yes they are evil, but at the same time they're not 100% evil.
Well, as Bill Bailey said, if you're going to be a god of creation, you might as well be the god of creation and destruction.
Yeah, most are. And then there's the god of change, and he basically is the past and the present and the future and just everything.
Yeah. So basically, the Primarch finds out that the Emperor had this deal.
Yeah. And because of that, he's a bit sort of, well, they weren't worthy. So he starts worshipping them, and allows some of his warriors to become possessed by demons. And he sends out his first chaplain, and sends him to work with Horus. And this chaplain basically starts whispering dark things into his ear. And
wasn't it Erebus?
Yes, Erebus, the first chaplain. And oddly enough, he's the first chaplain of the Word Bearers Legion. Interesting name, but yeah. And he kind of slowly turns him to chaos a bit, but then he steals a weapon which is essentially infused with the powers of chaos. Horus gets stabbed in the upper chest by this, and
just to let you know, 5 minutes, mate.
Right, no problem. And it begins to infect him, so he declines and turns to chaos. Yes. He then recruits his various of his 20 brothers, and he slowly twists them with promises of pride and basically strokes their egos until they join with him.
Yeah.
And then he essentially orchestrates an assault with him and 4 brothers to eradicate what's in their legion who they know will side with the Emperor, not them. Yeah. Basically gets them all on one planet and massacres them. And then digs himself in on another planet where 3 of his brothers charge towards him with 3 full legions. And these legions are somewhere in the region of 100,000 strong.
Yep.
He then is dug in as these 3 legions lay siege to him. They retreat as fast as they can after taking severe losses, as 4 more legions come to back them up. Sadly, these 4 legions have all turned traitor, and these 3 legions are gunned down to a single man. There's none of them survive. But the odd couple who managed to get off planet in time. But the legions are completely decimated. Maybe a few thousand, if that.
Yeah.
These then march on Terra and essentially attack it with their full force. And during the oncoming battle, nobody knows why, but Horus's flagship lowers its shield as maybe a taunt to his brother. To one of his brothers and the Emperor.
Sanguinus,
yes. Which, oddly enough, as defects and sort of signs of the demon and stuff, and purging secularism and all that sort of stuff being killed, this Primarch had wings.
As they do.
Yeah. And
Well,
essentially,
he was
he was
generally
known
considered fairly. Yeah, he was considered. Didn't a lot of people think he should have been the War
Well,
Master?
he was actually the only one who was most like the Emperor, which is what Horus said when he was picked to be War Master.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Sanguinus was plagued by visions of his own death, and knew since before the onslaught of the Horus Heresy how he was going to die.
Yeah.
And when he did was he went onto that ship with his father, but got separated. And knowing he was going to die, he was going to be killed by Horus, he went into a fight with him. And during the fight, he shattered part of Horus's armor, which, following his death, Horus fought the Emperor, and the Emperor managed to defeat Horus and kill him. But in doing so was mortally wounded, and was essentially incarcerated upon a golden throne. And this is the 31st millennium. He still sits on that golden throne in the 42nd.
Yes.
But he's believed to be little more than a corpse. Every day in the Imperium they send out ships to get psychers and psychics, and they just sacrifice thousands upon thousands of these psychic beings to feed him and keep him alive every single day. It is a very grim and dark future.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, and the grim. What's the tagline again? In the grim darks.
In the grim dark future, there is only war.
Yeah, I mean the Horus Heresies. I mean, I'm reading some of them. I've read the entire first bit. I'm on the second book, which I have to get a copy of. I'm currently reading a book that was bought for me. I've got 1 minute warning on this. AJ got me a book, which is like Tales of Heresy. It's actually it is a really good story.
I think, in the series.
Yeah. I would say that you do need a little bit of pre-knowledge for the Warhammer series if you're going to read these books. But they are actually written real. You got a lot of good writers in there. I mean, obviously I like Dan Abbott, but there are some other good writers you like there as well, aren't there?
Yes, Graham McNeil's a good one.
Yeah, he's a fantastic writer, and he could probably write other. He's probably written other stuff other than the Horus Heresy stuff. But outside of Warhammer, I'd love to see what he's written. The one thing I would say about these stories was they are quite good. Again, I feel personally that you do need to have some background knowledge in Warhammer, at least of the basic premise of what it is. I would never want to see this as a movie in any show.
Yeah.
So got 10 seconds there, apparently, AJ, so...
Well,
want to finish up?
That's been me. It's been fabulous hunting and grumbling and talking bollocks.
Excellent. I just love... Because obviously Etta's like, not a fan of the Warhammer stuff, so that sigh of relief is just hilarious for me. I'm sorry.
I was popping my shoulder back in.
Alright. The thing is, I will say this about, I'm looking forward to Etta's, because Etta, Lorne and I, we have an interesting relationship, She's very much a no bullshit person. I mean, she rips the piss out of me more than anyone else on this planet.
It was funny though.
Oh yeah. You should hear her when I'm watching wrestling. I suddenly become the most retarded person on the planet in her eyes.
You do.
So this is going to be an interesting one. So, Lord, what is your topic?
Okay, my topic is bathroom habits that piss me off.
All right. Well, Adam.
More specifically, public bathroom.
Okay.
So what was that?
Public bathroom habits which piss her off. And other stuff. So, Adam, are you ready?
Yes.
Excellent. We won 20 minutes on the clock.
You can have 20 minutes on the clock.
Then will we give us a 3-second countdown then?
Indeed I will. 3, 2, 1, 0.
Alright. What's up, guys? Anyway. Bathroom habits that piss me off. 1. Cell phones in a fucking public bathroom. Alright? They piss me off so much because of the simple fact that people freaking don't know how to not answer their phone. Oh my god. There have been so many times where I've been in a bathroom and people are talking on it. I'm sorry, but if I was in a bathroom and someone in the next stall over was taking a shit, I wouldn't want to be the person on the other end fucking hearing that shit. Seriously, like the grunting, groaning, just, Ugh,
Yeah.
God, that just makes me want to vomit. But anyway, but that's one thing that pisses me off. Then another, and this is specifically more female. We're supposed to be very clean people, right?
Well, that's the theory.
If you can, sneak into a female public restroom.
Yeah, I'll just get right on that.
You should.
I'm a gentleman.
You don't have much more to go, just the skirt and the heels and purse. You're
Oh,
good.
fuck you.
My pleasure. But anyway, they're so fucking nasty. There's toilet paper everywhere, like on the seats especially. And what makes it even worse is that these bastards are like, oh, I'm gonna put this on the seat because I don't want to get germs on my ass. Bitch, it's an exit-only part of your body. What the fuck is going to enter into your body through your asshole besides a fucking butt plug if you're into that shit? Okay?
I would like to point out one thing about that.
What?
Yeah.
In London, there was actually a guy who had removed the entire bottom, like, you know, the tube in the toilet where it disappears.
Yes.
Yeah.
He'd removed that and stuck his head there,
Yeah.
but he'd positioned it so that you couldn't see him quite well. But he'd been there for somewhere in the region of possibly 2 days, getting pissed on.
Yeah.
And it was only because someone had actually went to the toilet and had managed to see an eyeball looking up at them that they sort of
Which
went to the manager and said, what?
Yeah. If you don't want to shit when you walk into a toilet, you'll want to shit after that. And I only came in for number one, but it's about...
Yeah,
What?
and apparently the consensus is it was...
I thought it was at a gig. I thought it was like...
No,
one of those,
no, it's an actual pub. So I think it's because they've got the same sort of containers that they have in normal...
That's fucked
Yeah.
up.
The thing, by the way, on the show, all people will hear is a beep, because technically, legally speaking, because it hasn't been proven, we can't say that.
So what?
people...
You can't say what?
Well,
We can't
We can't name the pub.
We can't name the pub because it hasn't been proven.
Yes, it has. No. It was in a pub. It does actually say on the news article it was in a pub.
No, but we can't name. We can't say it's.
That's not the name of a. That's not the name of a pub though. It's a brand. It's possibly.
We can't name it, can't we?
We can't. Look, anyway, Esther, continue, please, for the love of God, before we destroy the show.
Well, so, but these people put down toilet paper on the bathroom toilet seats and don't fucking clean it up.
Yeah.
I have walked into a bathroom so many times and seen toilet paper just hanging off the fucking seats. And it's like, bitch, you want to make sure your ass is clean. Fucking clean up your shit once you're done. Just fucking move it into where it moves into the toilet so you can flush it. Seriously. Oh, my God. And why do women go into the fucking bathrooms in groups? I've never understood this. And I'm female. I don't need anybody to take me to the bathroom. My mom taught me how to do that.
I think she's asking rhetorically.
I was just saying, we don't know.
I just think it's something to get lost along the way.
But
Personally, I think it's them planning to kill their husbands.
I don't know, but I find I don't have a husband. So
Well, you've got a fiance, but you don't want to kill him, so you have no reason to go in pairs.
at least you think I don't want to kill him. Anyway.
He'd be dead now if you wanted him dead.
We weren't supposed to tell him that.
But it's just like, seriously, your mother or your dad or whatever taught you how to go to the bathroom by yourself. You don't need a motherfucking pack of estrogen to follow you in there. And another thing, just, okay, guys.
Yeah.
Yo.
I've ranted this to Steven.
Yes.
But you guys are some lucky bastards. Because the simple fact of you can just shake your shit, tuck it in your pants, and fucking walk away.
Sometimes we try to take it out of our pants to make out how much we drank.
Yeah.
For yourself, I'll always do
All you gotta do is just drop your zipper, pop it out, take your piss, walk out.
Technically, you could set up some sort of tube arrangement to do the same thing. I mean, I think I know someone who managed to do it with a pair of socks.
Was it Go-Go Gadget here or something?
Go get
Go-Go Gadget Beats.
You guys are some lucky bastards, because we're just like, fuck, we have to sit down on our ass and fucking use toilet paper and get fucking piss on our hands. Ugh. Ugh. And
There's no guarantee. It's an art.
Another thing that pisses me off. Okay,
Yeah.
I have hand sanitizer. See, hand
Yes.
sanitizer. Blah, blah, blah. Thank you.
Right, yeah.
But I have that. Because I don't like touching the knobs on the sinks in the bathroom because that's just gross. Because of germs.
Yeah.
But if I don't wash my hands, I get called out on so much bullshit. And it's like, bitch, I have hand sanitizer. Yeah, blah, blah. Hand sanitizer. There we go. Now I got the fucking thing out of my ear so I can actually talk freely. But it's like, seriously. Why? I have hand sanitizer. Yes, technically it doesn't get rid of the germs off your hands and just kind of spreads it around. That's something you learn in microbiology. But it's the simple fact of, I flush the toilet with my foot. I don't touch the shit with my hands.
To be fair, I don't touch shit with my hands either.
Shut up. I don't touch the knob with my hands. And
I use these specially designed tongues, which I carry around with me all the time. Then British.
That's bullshit.
But yeah, I move that too. I have different tongues for that though.
But I
I use
flush
the bottom of
toilet.
the walking stick.
So basically when people say you got to stick up your ass.
Yeah. And another thing. This happens
Yeah.
mostly in a female bathroom, because that's what I have experience with, anyway.
I'm glad.
I would hope so.
Well, I've snuck into a guy's bathroom, and y'all
Yeah.
have awesome fucking bathrooms. They're fucking
Well, that
See,
depends.
but that's always the bloke's thing of what does a girl's bathroom look like? Because ours got piss and shit all over the floors.
Well, to be honest,
Yeah.
I know the
We have it on the
male
walls.
bathroom in Bubbles is kind of on a weekend. The level of piss can actually raise to about 4 inches and disappear out into the courtyard.
Pretty bad. And the thing is though, in most male bathrooms that I've been in, it's never pleasant.
Of course it's not pleasant.
I tell you a public bathroom thing which pisses me off, right? Guys, we've all got the same rule. We know the rule,
There's a gap.
right? Let's say, right, see, I don't like using urinals. I prefer having the car, because then it's like, leave me alone.
There's
But,
always 5 though.
yeah.
There's always an odd number.
Yeah, but let's say you have to use a urinal. You go in, right? You can have 3 guys stand next to each other, goes in the piss. Number 1 rule.
Go to the furthest away.
No,
Never
not
look
that
down.
one. No, you've got no. you've got a bunch of people there, multiple person. You're in a plural situation here.
Oh, don't talk.
Exactly. If I'm busy using the urinal for its God-given purpose, do not engage me in conversation. It's like, what do you think of this weather? Look, I'm gonna piss on you if you don't shut the fuck up, right?
It's raining for you. Wee.
Exactly. It's ridiculous. It's like, don't talk to me. It's like, I'll be washing my hands after just finished. Even when I'm washing my hands, don't go, yo, don't yell me. I'm washing my hands. I'm clearly in the bathroom.
Yeah, but you only have to worry if you're in the cubicles and the fuck comes on even taps.
That's just...
That's a different situation completely.
Technically,
I mean,
the only time I'd ever talk to someone in a toilet would be maybe if they've held the door open for me as I walk in. I'll say thanks.
Yeah, but that's fine. There's another situation when you can, which is if you're in the cubicle and someone goes, "You got any toilet paper, mate?" That's fine. That's an emergency. The code allows for it. But yeah, I mean, there are some stuff about guys who we have this thing. And the other thing
There always
is,
has to be one urinal between you and anyone else normally, unless
Yes.
it can't be avoided.
Always go to the furthest away from the door.
okay, about 10 minutes, but you know, I mean,
I
before
think we've derailed it, and you're talking. It's Etta's conversation.
No,
That's the idea.
yeah, we're supposed to it's all talk. That's how it works. But my last point about like male habits, I've seen this 3 or 4 times in my lifetime. 3 or 4 times. When you go to a urinal, I mean, I don't care what you do in a cubicle, picture, whatever. I don't care. When you're at a urinal, you only need to do the zip, mate.
Oh,
Bullshit down. No, the pants down. Your ass. We don't want to say that.
My ass is pretty.
Did Kai do that by any chance?
No, as far as I'm aware.
Right.
But I've never gone and watched him take a piss.
That's fine.
I've never watched him
That
do
would
anything
make me
about it.
question.
Yeah.
I'm watching myself. Okay, if I went to a bathroom to watch one of them mates, it's like, no, I'm a great man with your work. Go ahead. So,
Whose phone's going off?
we're aware. Don't worry. It's all part of the. It's basically just the flip people calling in trying to get on our show. And remember, if you want to be on our show, well, I'll plug later. No, but seriously, Lord, other bathroom habits. What about like private habits? You know, obviously you share a house with people. What about private habits.
Private habits?
When I say private habits,
I know I had an odd situation to deal with once.
what I mean is, when you're sharing a house or a apartment or something, what kind of bathroom habits?
Do the other people share?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Person H, as I will call him, likes to leave the door open.
At which point, I will say Dr. P doesn't appear in this one.
No. She likes to leave the door open when she's taking a piss or a shit. Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I know with two of my housemates, they'd gotten themselves into a rather peculiar situation. Which was, they'd basically gotten, you know those like rolls of sellotape?
Yes.
Well, what they'd done is, they'd stuck one hand through, and then the other person stuck their hand through it, like through the actual ring itself. And
When you say you mean of the sellotape?
yes, of the sellotape. And what they'd done is, they'd gotten it stuck around their wrists, and they'd been like that for 24 full hours.
Right.
One of them needed the toilet.
Oh shit.
Here we go.
It was a man and a woman.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
The toilet.
yeah, they weren't dating at the time.
Yeah, but who needed the loo?
I think I actually can't remember. All I know is that when I came to the toilet about 2 hours later, they were both asleep on the landing outside the toilet door. And I do know that they both went into it, because I was talking to them through the door for the shits and giggles.
Oh, you would have to use that phrase.
Well, to be honest, they've nicked my bed for 2 weeks straight. I can grumble about them.
Just as using that pun to us. How dare you, sir?
I liked it.
Well, you would.
But person H likes to leave the door open whenever she's taking a piss or shit. Hell, she even likes to leave it open when she's taking a shower.
Oh, what?
No.
And if you're in the bathroom,
No.
yeah,
Just,
it gets worse.
no.
It gets worse.
Yes. If you're in the bathroom and she needs to go, and you've told her you're in the bathroom, she will not care and will open up the door just to see if you're actually in the bathroom.
Seriously?
Yeah, that didn't happen with me when I was in the bathroom, because obviously I went and visited.
Yeah.
I would go there, it would be like, no one is getting in this bathroom, and I will boot anyone in the face who comes in.
What makes it worse is that we don't have a lock anymore. No, anymore. We had a lock, but I had to break down the door because person H decided to lock herself in there.
Yeah, I remember this.
Yeah. I ended up having to take my boot to the door.
I was on the phone at the time. Out to her, you know. Oh, man. So, I mean, what about other habits, you know?
Oh, yes. Person H does not flush at all.
Oh.
How can someone not flush the toilet?
I know, it's like, it's either...
The most disgusting habit ever.
I know that happened twice to me today. I went into the toilet, and it had not been flushed twice. But the thing is, in the men's toilet, there are toilets, and then there are urinals. I went to the toilets.
Yes.
And you know why it wasn't flushed? You know what was in there?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But it don't matter. She's freaking 8 years old and does not flush the toilet.
She's a lazy shit.
No. I eventually broke her of that habit for a little bit by walking out of the bathroom, walking into her room, undoing the entire cable box, bringing the cable box into my room, and she was all like, "Why? No." And I was like, "Flush the toilet, bitch."
Yep, that's how you deal with kids. I think one which gets me... Yeah, what a personal habit which gets me is like if you've got like if you lasses don't do this as far as I'm aware. I've only ever had problems with guys. If you're sharing a bathroom with people that you live with or you stay house, it's alright, and they don't, and basically the targeting's off.
Yeah.
Oh my god, women have that too.
Pissing on the floor, right, is bad enough.
On the seat.
It's like, guys, the idea is you lift the toilet seat up, right? I don't care if people go, oh, you're a guy, why'd you lift the toilet seat up? Because I piss standing up, so I moved the seat up.
Yeah, I do that as well. I always lift it up.
We don't live with girls, we don't live with girls. Yeah, eventually my arse wants to be on that seat, right? But no, there's a guy that go, hey! We want to make this as wet as possible. Like,
alright, sometimes, right?
Women do it too.
oh, fuck
Sometimes you had a few drinks and it just guns out wherever it wants to go.
Well, technically, one thing the thing just randomly sprouts. There is no actual logic to it at times.
Yes,
You can aim it perfectly, and then it'll go wee.
Yeah, but you
and then
can
you suddenly have to correct yourself.
You can lift the fucking seat up.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
you do that anyway.
I always lift the seat up though. Yeah.
See, but women can't lift the seat. Women here do this move that's like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon shit. Where we sit but not on the toilet itself.
I believe it's called the hover.
Why, though?
Yeah, we do the hover. Okay?
Why?
And it's gross because they don't want to clean up their own piss. It's your piss. It's sterile. Clean it up. It's not gonna hurt you. It's ammonia.
Yeah.
It's impossible for a lass to miss.
No. Lasses have missed.
It's so difficult. It's a piece of piss.
Bad.
And it's horrible because like piss will be all over the seats, and it's like seriously.
Yes.
2-minute warning.
Ugh.
After you got a 2-minute warning.
Damn it. 'Cause
The
there's so
way
much
of
I
high
can
award goes to you, Steve.
Well, I guess this is my rant done. Even though I want to talk about a lot more.
You keep going. I'll just give you a 2-minute warning.
Writing on fucking walls.
Yeah.
This bitch wants to blow you. Call blah blah blah. And it's like,
That'd be weird in a girl's bathroom.
no, I've seen
like,
it.
Yeah, this girl wants to blow you. She's going to be vastly disappointed.
Well, you never know. There might be an hermaphrodite.
That's true.
Or
That's true.
even better be, Johnny loved Katie forever. Yeah, watch a week later you actually broke up.
Yeah, that's another one I don't get. You know, you see, it's a men's bathroom. You see that. It's like, guys and lost forever. It's like, why are you writing that in the bathroom, dude? That's being pissed on.
It's not making last forever.
Or I have to take a total off for a lot is taking a book in there, real.
Wait, a public guy.
Well,
if you sit in
in a public, it's a pit.
If you sit in a public bathroom,
Wait, what was that?
When I got into the pub, I just take the paper in.
Aye, that's fine.
But at home, I get wrong for taking like a book and reading a chapter.
Aye.
Oh no, I go in public and everything. I read. If I'm going in, I'm reading. Bollocks, what anyone else thinks. I'm reading.
When I was young, I used to take the Game Boy in.
Oh, I don't dare do that. I've got an iPad. I dare to. I'll never fucking get up.
I usually go into the bathroom, and if I see like a lot of shit written on the walls, I go sit down and read it while I'm taking my piss.
Yeah, 20 seconds.
Huh?
20 seconds.
Aww.
I know.
Ends my rant.
Well, you can always continue it on the next episode.
I could.
Sum it up.
There's so much more. So there you go.
Well,
My rant on bathroom behavior.
Yeah. Now you got to remember our next episode will be hosted by Adam Caulfield, so none of us will be on it. You know. But there's nothing stopping Enter coming back on my next episode.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah, where we can continue. But you know, we're now going to be moving on to the last topic of the night. We're going to be moving to Geek over here. And Geek, just tell us what your topic is, because I love this.
My topic is people who watch a comic book movie and then decide that they know everything about a character when they don't know jack shit.
More importantly, it was that they know more about the character than you.
Yeah, more than me. Which
Yeah,
means they don't know jack shit.
That was the original one. That they know more about me, so I know more than me. So may I have 20 minutes on the clock?
You might need more than that.
No. 20 minutes.
I have a request. When we have a minute, I want a chewy.
All right. All right. So we'll get the 1 minute chewy warning. So, Adam, give us a 3-second countdown. Okay.
I'll just do it. 3, 2, 1, go!
The major problem with this is the Dark Knight. Ever since The Dark Knight comes out, oh, I know everything about the Joker. No, you fucking don't. I know
He
everything.
wasn't the best Joker.
Well, no, that's a different conversation. The best Joker is Mark Hamill.
Oh, hell yeah. You get love for that, mate. You get love for that.
Well, whatever you want to do in private is up to you.
Whatever.
Yeah, I'll do it to you, man. I'll be doing it to you.
Since The Dark Knight, everyone knows about Batman. No, they don't. Iron Man. Oh, I know everything about Iron Man. Oh, wait, tell me, did you know he was an alcoholic? No, he's not. Yeah, he
It was
is.
a decent Iron Man film, though. It was a decent Iron Man film.
Do you know about... I know everything about Captain America. No, you don't. I know everything about Thor. No, that was a lot of made-up stuff. And then, of course, you get the Hulk. Well, which Hulk are you talking
Oh,
about?
God, no. Oh, God.
Well, you got Hulk from Ang Lee. Oh, so he's a depressed fuck. No, not really. Bannon's a little bit pissy.
I like to point out at this point he is rocking back and forth, rubbing his hands as if he's about to choke a bitch.
And then you get the Incredible Hulk. Well, so he was in Brazil. Not for long. No. There's only one Hulk. No, there's thousands of Hulks. Every time we want a different colour, we bring out a new Hulk. The Avengers Hulk is going to be interesting because that's another version of the Hulk, and I can't wait for people to tell me that they know all about that Hulk. Nick Fury's black. No, he's not. He's black in the Ultimate Universe. In the what universe? Exactly, so shut the fuck up.
Technically, I was answered that he was black.
The one that really gets me is the fact that someone will watch the cartoon series and will then tell me that, no, they don't. I don't know anything about it because the cartoon series has more respect and belief behind it than the comic books that have 40 extra years on them. For instance, I have a good friend, we both do, who when I said they're making a Green Lantern film said, is he black? I went, no, he's going to be Hal Jordan. That's not the Green Lantern.
Ah, yes. Because they're referring to the Justice League.
They're referring to the Justice League, referring to John Stewart.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting going, well, I could explain it, but you won't listen anyway, so there's not much point.
Yeah.
Even in the comic book store, you get people who do this to you.
Oh, God,
We went to Forbidden Planet. Once again, we'll probably be a beat.
Yes.
And they turn around, and people were sitting going, ooh, look at that, doesn't he look just like Thor? No, he looks like the movie rendition of Thor.
Yeah. That's because they've got to cash in on the
I understand that but at least the comic book stores will show all the different versions.
Yeah.
And go, look, this is this comic, this universe, this one. And the most annoying one is Wolverine.
Alright.
Because Wolverine has the X-Men's.
Yeah.
And has obviously Origins. Well, people watch Origins and say, oh, well, that looks nothing like Wolverine. That's because it doesn't look anything like Wolverine's Origin.
Yeah.
Origin had fuck all to do with Wolverine.
Yeah.
X-Men 3 is a really, really good stickling point for comic book fans and comic book movie fans. Because
it's the worst film in existence.
I liked it.
The film was shit.
It was a guilty.
Yeah, but Phoenix was not like that. Phoenix was a different entity entirely. She was an alien entity.
I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum here because you both know, through various experiences, you both know that
most of my Marvel stuff comes from the animated series because I'm a decent man at heart.
Both of you guys, if something that you share in common, apart from both loving comic books, is that you both know me and you both know the fact that I know jack shit. So when I saw it, I kind of liked it. I thought the story was bullshit, but I found myself enjoying much. Maybe it's just because Cyclops died.
I checked out as soon as Cyclops died. Because Cyclops doesn't die. Cyclops is what stops the Phoenix from killing the universe and also stops the world from...
To be honest, I was annoyed when they killed Xavier. That was the bit that got me.
See, for me...
I was already checked out by that point.
But for me, I watched X-Men 1, I watched X-Men 2. When they killed Cyclops in X-Men 3, I was so happy because I hated that.
Oh, I hate the character Cyclops in any rendition.
Yeah. To be honest, there should have been more Colossus.
Well, there's another one. People tell you Colossus. Colossus isn't Russian. Why? Because he doesn't speak with a Russian accent. That's because he was played by an American.
Yeah, I thought he was. He is Russian.
Yes, he's Russian. He's a former Soviet farm boy.
Yeah. Because, well, to be honest... you know the X-Men Evolution cartoons?
Yes.
I think that's how the movies should have been, because they were so much better.
It's to a certain point. I mean, the more... If you're going to go for a cartoon, you should have really gone for the animated in the 90s, the original X-Men cartoon.
Yeah, the original animated series. That's what I grew up on. I grew up on those ones.
But the problem being is that
Yeah.
they have, the Kitty Pryde love story with and Triangle with Rogue and Iceman, that comes from the Ultimate Universe, and it was thrown in there because they wanted something to do with Iceman and Rogue.
Well, you were saying when we were on the road yesterday, you were talking about how obviously Marvel does, all that jazz, and they were talking about trying to make it as realistic and as real as possible, which is part of the problem. Because again, I'm a noob for comics, but the problem when you deal with superheroes, realism is something that is a very weird subject because you talk about realism in a superhero context, right?
Especially
I tried to explain about the Infinite Crisis stuff to you, Steve.
Yeah.
And if you're going into stuff like that, you've got universes A to billion. You've got billions of them.
But then that's why you'll see in the Avengers they'll go with the Ultimates is the story they'll stick with there mainly because of the fact that it works much easier and it works to a point where it's set in reality-based world anyway. Just these kids, they have most of the powers explained from science experiments. The mutants were created. That was a great one. The other ones is you sit there and people tell you the whole time that they know this character, they know that character, and all this because of what they saw in the movies, and you're sitting going, well, did you enjoy this story? What story? It annoys the fuck out of me when people don't know a major arc of a character. For instance, Spider-Man.
Yes.
When someone goes, well, Spider-Man's first enemy was Green Goblin. No, Spider-Man's first enemy was just some random dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Wasn't it like the guy who killed his uncle?
Well, yeah. The greatest part about the Spider-Man movie was that we were discussing yesterday.
Yeah.
Was the casting for the villains.
Yeah.
And for me, it was seeing Macho Man Randy Savage on the big screen.
Yes.
Couldn't give a fuck about the rest of it. I don't like Tobey Maguire.
No.
He's a little pussy, which means he was perfect.
I really hated him in the third one. Really hated the third one.
No, I don't like him in any of them.
The third one is good, but it's putting 12 pounds of shit.
It's the emo bit with the costume that drives me up the wall.
What?
With Venom. The bit with Venom, it turns him into an emo, weak puff. Yeah. That is the bit that drives me up the wall.
It drives a lot of people up the wall. Venom is the equivalent
opposite of what Venom did.
The Venom is the equivalent of what people would say going back to Origins.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the Team X-Force, as they call it, which pissed me off straight away because it's not X-Force.
Yeah.
They had the Blob, okay, but he was skinny.
Yeah.
He could just he could just take impact. That's not the Blob. He's always been big. Then they had Wraith. Okay, Wraith, that was close enough to him.
Yeah.
And then you had a made-up character for Donald Montague.
Uh-huh.
He's not a character in the X universe, but everybody now looks for him.
Huh.
Agent Zero wasn't Agent Zero. He was Maverick, but he wasn't German. He was fucking Korean.
Of course.
Yeah.
And then we go to Wade Wilson. Deadpool.
Oh dear.
That, my friends, was not Deadpool. That was Wade Wilson at the beginning, and Weapon 11 at the end. And wait, why didn't he break the fourth wall? Why would you have a character who's cocky, talks, and is called the Merc with a mouth, and seal him up? But people will still tell me that's what happened in the comics.
To be honest, I think he did a decent Hal Jordan. Hal Jordan was done well.
Oh yes, Hal Jordan's done well. The Green Lantern is a decent film. The problem being is that you never buy into it because of the fact that the CGI body. They do the full suit CGI, so you're always taken out of it going, wow, that's really good effects. They should have at least a suit on him and just glowed it over.
Yeah.
I thought the Ring created the suit.
No, the suit was full CGI.
Oh, right, sorry.
Yeah.
That got a bit garbled, mate. I missed most of what you said. I was a bit confused there.
It does.
But,
I was actually on about the superpower other than the CGI.
Oh, that's it. The CGI is done well with the powers itself.
I think the weird thing, obviously, is because you talk about me and we're not really big comic book people.
Nope.
So when I see a movie, it's like, also when I think of the comics, a lot of the time I'm like, well, I don't really know. Now, the only reason I really started getting the comics was because there's a guy called Akara, who I can't mention because it's an internet plug.
Yeah.
A guy called Akara who's got a show called Top the Fourth Wall. He does comic book reviews. So I get to learn through that. And I get to see some course. And then sometimes I end up knowing enough to have an opinion of it, like whether I think it's another good story. I have read some Batman ones. I've got some big opinions on Frank Miller. Well, no, I've got one opinion of Frank Miller. He's shit. But
He's not. He's done some good ones.
Yeah, but then he went crazy.
Has some good
Then he
ones.
went crazy. But you get to a situation where, like, say I watch a Batman movie, or I watch a Superman movie, or I watch any movie starring based on some kind of comic book, and somebody asks me, I'm like, no, for me, actually, the big one is, the biggest example was League of Extraordinary Gentlemen and they're based on graphic novels.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of people saying, hey, oh, well, nothing compare the graphic novels on it. Well, I haven't seen it. And then I was like, how dare you! So it's like, well, just because I haven't read the graphic novel doesn't mean I can't watch the movie. Yes, it does!
Technically, there is a great deal of difference between the movies and the comics. Take, for example, how, like, the writer of Watchmen and V for Vendetta and all that doesn't even own the comics anymore. He's binned them because he hates the movies that much.
Yeah.
But just because you like the movie doesn't mean you're a bad person, and doesn't mean you, like, should be burned at the stake and all that bollocks. You like the movie for what it is, and they are good movies, and they do have good messages. Maybe not the same message that the book has.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, because I'm sitting on here like going, well, I never read it, so I can't comment on it. So I'm the kind of guy that you could probably agree with, which is like, well, what do you think how do you think the best graphic novel? I haven't read it. All right, fair enough.
I am fine when people turn around and say that.
But
it's when they try and correct me.
But it's like, it'd be like me turning around to like say, so like, oh, because obviously again, I don't know what's right and what's wrong. But that's like me, bitching on about how this character is more like this character more like that. You're like, well, have you actually seen the graphic novel? And the answer isn't no, but, which is really annoying. That's annoying. The answer would be, well, yes. And then what they mean by, well, yes, is, no, but I've seen the movie. Because I think, I've done that when I was younger. I've done that in my lifetime, and then I've been proven to be...
It's one of those ones where they go, I really love this character, and you're going, well, do you know anything about the history of him?
Yeah.
Well, I know it was in the movies.
Yeah. I think a fair answer...
I've given you, like, what was it? Identity Crisis to read.
Identity Crisis, yes.
Because that was an amazing comic.
It's very good.
I've still got two comics that got me for birthday. I think it's Batman 1 Year Later or something like that. Was the other Year One, or was it...
I think it's Batman Year One. Which is the origin story of Batman from the Year One story arc. And I think I got you... Is it Face to Face, or is it 10 Stories of Batman?
Face to Face. It's Face to Face.
Which is another one of the 1 year later arc.
Yeah.
Which is set after the Infinite Crisis and Identity Crisis and all that.
Yeah, they jumped a year forward and then retold it during the 50
Because I can count...
So this is when Batman comes back to Gotham after leaving Harvey Dent in charge of Gotham.
My favourite comic or graphic novel of all time, and trust me, that's a short list because I've not read many, was Batman Arkham Asylum. It was the one that was done for the 25th anniversary. I read that had my favourite, one of my favourite Joker moments in. But that for me, Batman is my favourite superhero of all time. But my history comes from the animated. So, like, the animated series of
animated is incredibly close to it. Because, to be honest, I'd say that's on par with some of the comics. Harley Quinn's first appearance in the Batman
universe. There's a lot of it that is...
There's
a lot of it that is close, but I think Batman is very close. I think it was wrote with most at the same time.
Well, I mean, obviously, the Quinn character's first appearance,
Even the 60s Batman TV show with Adam West. That
I would say is a bit kind of bizarre, though, in comparison.
But if you go back and read the time...
Oh, true. But I think they've kind of written that off with Batman's psychedelic years, which didn't happen.
I
love the Adam West show.
I hate the Adam West Batman. I hate Brave and the Bold. I hate everything about it. I hate. I have a strong dislike to the Batman, but I appreciate it in a lot of areas. especially the Batman distraction of the movie. That was very well done.
I'm afraid, people, I'm going to have to go. So it's been good having it's been great meeting you, and I'll have to speak to you again.
We'll speak to you sometime soon. Thanks for. I'll do the plugging after you've left.
Pleasure being here.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
See ya.
Alright, well, we've lost Adrian, but we've still got moments of a down, which I'm a confused. I know what I was saying was, and I also hate, Joe. I hate the George Clooney.
The Joe Schumacher stuff.
Yeah, actually, to be fair, I just really the George Clooney one.
Batman and Robin.
Fucking background part. But, but for me, that's what my history comes from. When people ask what I think of Batman, I tend not to bother saying it, but what I mean to say is, well, my history comes from the other, and I also accept Justice League.
Yeah.
And Justice League Limited, because to me it's the same Batman, it's Kevin Conroy.
I mean, it's the same story and universe as well. That's what I'm fine with you turn around and say, I know this version of it, and I'll go, well, I know what you're talking about then.
Yeah.
But it's when people would say, I know, no, that didn't happen.
Yeah.
And they correct me. I am called the Geek King. I have tattoos of Marvel characters all up down my right arm.
Yes.
I know about these characters.
Yes.
I go and spend...
You're wearing a Hulk shirt now, and what I love about your Hulk shirt is that it's got all the parts of the body except for the head, because that's where your head is.
Of course, I am the Hulk.
Yeah.
But it's one of those ones where people seem to just... They go, well, no, but that's wrong. It didn't happen in the movies.
Yeah.
Yes, because they changed it for the movies.
We've got 3 minutes on the clock here. But, I think it's irritating in any respect. It's kind of the same feeling like, it's kind of like, say, I've been studying a subject for years. You can relate to this, because obviously different times, people watch a movie about the military, for instance, and then they start talking about all this macho military bullshit. See, I do not get involved somehow.
My dad's the same when it comes to military.
Yeah, it's like, for me, it comes down to, like, a Shakespeare, right?
Mm.
I'm a big fan of Shakespeare, so I watch a Shakespeare movie and suddenly think, like, they're a fucking poet, and it's like, fuck all. Especially when, for me, it's kind of like, if they try to reenact a play, they're trying to read a part, and they do it exactly as they saw it, and it's like, well, why not do it your own way? Oh, well, that's the right way, you did it wrong. Yeah, considering most of them were American actors in a Shakespeare film, I'm just saying. But, if you break us, do we not bleed? If you take us, do we not laugh? But, that idea of, you watched a movie, so you've spent 2 hours, and you think that makes you know more than me. Fuck you, you dick. But, I've done that in the past, where I've been humbled, as the sheep would say.
I've humbled a few people over that. It's one of those ones where I know there's people who know more than me.
Yeah.
And if they explain something to me, and I'll go, oh, well, I didn't know that, thanks for telling me.
Yeah.
Because most of the time, you'll just get bullshit, and, what you know about it?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
I've just told you everything about it. I have a bag full of comic books in my hand. Please tell me how I do not know more than you.
Sounds like manga.
Yeah, manga's a big one. Somebody watches an episode of Dragon Ball Z and all of a sudden, I love the Japanese culture. I love... See, for me, right, I used to watch Dragon Ball Z, loved it, I still do. I think it's stupid, but I love it for it, right? Then people ask me about, what do you think of Martian Successor to Desico? What do you think of Evangelion?
Yeah.
What do you think of...
As soon as you say you like something similar, they go, do you like this? Do you like this?
And then my response is, I watched Dragon Ball Z. That's it. And they went, oh, fair enough, they got a bit bitchy. And then they said, I saw you, I said, I just finished watching Death Note. And before I could say live action... 1 minute warning.
Thank you, Chewie.
You went to clap yourself, baby. But it's like all of a sudden they're like, oh my god, you must love anime. It's like, dude, I watched one. It's like AJ has been trying so long for me to watch the Iron Man movies. I watched the first one, forgot what happens. But the problem is, because I've...
Come on, we'll get through them.
Yeah.
If you come to the Avengers screening, we're going to watch them all.
we're
Avengers are assembling on May.
But I'm not an Avenger.
You are an Avenger.
I'm not an Avenger.
Everybody's going!
I'm not.
Okay, Dad.
You can come if you want. We've got a plan to get you over here.
Again, with the plane and
We've
drinking.
got 15 seconds. We ain't discussing the plan.
Alright, 15 seconds wrap up.
50 seconds. I'm called the Geek King, and you don't know shit.
I like it.
Alright.
So, ladies and gentlemen, what have we learned today? I think we've learned that the medical profession is filled with every kind of retard possible, but at the end of the day, it's life or death. We kind of have to trust them to some degree.
They've got a prescription pad.
Exactly. We've also learned that the history of the Horus Heresy is a long one. It's hard to follow if you're not interested in Warhammer at all. If you are, it is worth a read. It is good literature. I will say this. I am really enjoying reading. Do I think it's on the same line as likes of Terry Pratchett? No, Terry Pratchett's far more interesting. But if you've got any kind of interest in that kind of fiction, yeah, it's good. We also learned that there's a lot of things you do wrong in the bathroom. Correct it. Otherwise, one military pissed off bitch will kill you. And also, you know, we should probably paint targets and toilets. And we also learned that it doesn't matter how good you think you are and how many movies you've seen, you will never know more about a comic book character than the Geek King.
Damn skippy hippie.
You know, well, what can I possibly do now? Maybe this is the section where I plug the shit out of stuff. Starting with, we're going to start with, so Kael was on the show, AJ, good old friend, and he has got 2 sites we can plug. He's got a DeviantArt account for some good literature. Good literature, actually, worth checking out. I consider him a creative genius. We've co-authored before. Never finished the project, sadly. We may get around to that in life. He is a Kael Sunstrider. That's KAEL-TAS-SUNSTRIDER.deviantart.com. And then there's also his blog. He has a WordPress account, ladies and gentlemen, at thevoidbornlibrarian.wordpress.com. And we also have the one and only Geek over here. You can find him on Twitter at King632. And hey, check out his Tumblr. You know, you want to see how much of a Geek King this guy is. UndeadGeekComics.tumblr.com.
That's geek spelled G33K.
Exactly. Now, of course, you can always follow me on Twitter at SteveJones213. You can also follow my WordPress account at stevejones213.wordpress.com. You could follow me Tumblr. You can probably work out what it is. But it's not really worth it. But hey, follow me on DeviantArt at stevejones213.deviantart.com. And hey, chances are you're probably watching this on YouTube on my account. But if you're not and you're watching Shout the Show, YouTube's account, then come and find me over on youtube.com/user/The Wandering Angel. That's all one word.
Attention whore.
And of course, well, I am a bit of attention whore, but in fact, you know what really deserves attention? Our fantastic merchandise available at
Oh, dear God.
Jones313. For your good, total knockout Steve Jones313 merchandise. Now, our next episode will be hosted by this guy over here. Adam, why should we tune into next week's show?
Because we have bunnies, and I'm not talking any bunnies. I'm talking good bunnies.
Ooh. I might have to. Wait a second.
Are you going to
I'm
play
hungry.
with it?
That's why I have. That's the plan.
Will those buddies have Easter eggs?
It depends. I might have Easter eggs, maybe.
I'm tuning in.
Although the foil might disturb the record. But you know, we'll see what we can do. Of
We'll
course.
muster through.
Of course, you can also find my musical creations, like the one I did for this show, and of course my brother Stephen's show, Total Markout. Stephen, now where can you find #Total Markout?
Total Markout can be found at, again, the YouTube account of youtube.com/user/The Wandering Angel. Or you can find our Tumblr account at totalmarkout.tumblr.com, who is controlled by none other than the Geek here. Or you can find our Blip channel at blip.tv/Total Markout.
And you can like us on Facebook.
Yeah! We're on Facebook, midget! But of course, look, that's all the plugging out the way. I want to thank Kael for being on the show. I want to thank Geek for being on the show, and to my wonderful fiance, thank you for being on the show. And also, I think I'll throw a timekeeper at him. There you go. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to say good night. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, tune in next week for another episode of Shout! Chewie, take us home!
Hashtag shout douchebag.